told you before, when you bump into old friends, it's always nice, isn't it, to just catch up with people that you haven't seen for a while. And I'm so glad that you enjoyed our recent video regarding Dennis Quaid. As so many people said in the comments, they remember all of his films. And I don't know if you're like this, but you still see them as modern day films, don't you? Because they're the era that we probably still went to the cinema with, do you know what I mean? And now, when you think about it, the young kids, particularly the kids that I work with, they didn't actually know who Dennis Quaid was, or indeed what his films were. Makes you feel ancient, doesn't it? It's a bit like our star today. I've been friends with him now for many years, in fact, and really sort of came to fruition, of course, when he starred in the brilliant movie by James Cameron, Titanic, alongside Leonardo DiCaprio and, of course, Kate Winslet. We're talking about Billy Zane. Billy Zane is now making something of a comeback, playing a role that I believe he was destined to fulfill many years ago. Let me explain. It's lovely to see you today. You're right, in this pollen-infested park. I say that with love, of course. My nose is itching. I feel like Samantha from Bewitched. You know what I mean? Yes, you can't stop. It's a nightmare, isn't it? Is it grass pollen or tree pollen? Somebody will know out there. Beautiful though it is, it's very annoying, isn't it? And for all those that are suffering like me, yes, well, we can suffer together, can't we? Of course we can. Well, we can for a bit, can't we? Let's talk about this man, of course, a man who is deemed one of the goodest, best looking men apparently on screen, none other than Billy Zane. Now, I met Billy Zane many years ago, literally when he was promoting Titanic, which was a colossal movie. And let's not forget, of course, the beautiful theme song sung by the brilliantly talented Canadian superstar that is Celine Dion. What a voice, what a lady. And of course, her own health battles too currently. Although I still think she will overcome that because her good talent really does shine through. Now, Billy, of course, went on to do many different things, and I worked with him last on a big thing over in London's West End. I think it was called 7 Dance Lessons in 7 Weeks, alongside the beautiful British star Claire Bloom. That's right. Now Billy's back, you see. And what's interesting about this is it was a role that he mentioned to me literally about 15 years ago, that of Marlon Brando. Now Marlon Brando, as I'm sure many people know, was a megastar literally of the 1950s right through until Superman in the 1980s. He was one of those new generation, wasn't he? The bad boys of Hollywood, alongside Montgomery Clift, James Dean, and to a point, in fact, Elvis Presley in Jailhouse Rock. Yes, even Elvis could do bad, you know. Marlon Brando, of course, had one of those eclectic careers. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but he actually owned the apartment that the chat show king, Merv Griffin, used to rent. And then he sub-rented it to Marilyn Monroe. You see how all of this works in the golden days of Hollywood. You get the picture. Now, what's interesting is Billy's decided to take on this brand new role called Waltzing with Brando. And it's literally up, out and about at the Cannes Film Festival. I won't spoil it too much for you, but basically, Billy takes on the sort of thing where Brando was trying to buy and create this wonderful idyllic island, which of course he ended up living on himself while falling in love with it, making Mutiny on the Bounty in the 1960s. Now, Marlon Brando himself was, some might suggest, a rather difficult character. And Billy himself has been put into that box too. But as he said, it's not about really being difficult. It's about standing up for what you want to make and the sort of movies that you want to make. Hence the reason Billy's very rarely gone down the commercial route. When he came over to London to do an audience with and starring 7 Dance Lessons, I was lucky enough to host a very special night on stage with Claire and Billy at the Theatre Royal in the Haymarket. And it was interesting, because before we went on stage, Claire Bloom said to me, I said, is there anything that you don't want to talk about on stage? And she said, I suppose working with Chaplin, everybody asks me that, And the first question, of course, somebody said was, what was it like working with Chaplin? She went on for about 20 minutes. You see what actresses are like. Never actually believe what they're saying. Waltzing with Brando comes out later this year. Billy Zane is absolutely miraculous in this role, but he still has another role that he'd like to take on, that of Mario Lanza. He actually wanted to try and get that biog off the ground before the Brando one, but sadly couldn't get the funding. Either way, looks like he's set for a massive screen back. Either way, it looks like he's set for a massive screen comeback. But as ever, I want to know from you, do you think these screen biogs actually work? Or should, of course, the Golden Greats be left in peace? Or is it a good way of having new people readjust, refine, and of course, reinvigorate the careers of the golden greats that have gone beyond. Either way, please do let me know in the comments below. And from everybody here on the channel, let's wish Billy Zane good luck with his latest venture, Waltzing with Brando. Neil Sean, Hyde Park, London.